Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video, I did do a video about my birthing experience, which I will leave at the end of this video, but I really want to talk to you guys more in detail about my C-section. I don't think I went into full detail. I'm not going to go into everything, but I'm one of those people that like to know exactly what goes on before I go and get something done, just so that I know that I'm not freaking out over something little, I guess. So I wanted to go into more detail about how the C-section came about and how the recovery went and all that kind of stuff. So the C-section wasn't planned. I was about 40 weeks when I saw my midwife, and basically I asked if I could speed along getting my baby out, because by that stage I was quite big and I was uncomfortable and it was just not that fun. And she said that I needed to come back in a week and they were going to medically induce me. So basically it looks like a tampon. They kind of stick it up into your vagina, and it medically breaks your waters gradually. So you'll be in hospital. I was in hospital for. I know that some people have gone home and they've come back once their waters are broken, but I got to stay overnight because I got it done about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, so that was on the 15th of July. No, it wasn't. That was the 7th of July when I went and got myself medically induced. And they put me on a temporary bed while the nurse did it. A nurse put it in. So basically, it breaks your waters and it looks like a tampon, and the string, I guess the medical bit of the string kind of hangs out, so you can feel it. She said that it will fall out over time, so don't freak out if it falls out. She said normally you won't even feel it. It will probably go to the toilet and you won't even realise that it's come out. It's not a cause of alarm, but she said she basically wanted me to let her know if, for example, if my waters hadn't broken over like 24 hours, then to maybe, I don't know, I think she said if my waters didn't break the next morning, then they would do something else or something. So, but it probably would have been about 10 o'clock when I got contractions that night. So I got medically induced at 4 o'clock, and about 10 o'clock I got contractions. At the time I didn't realise that they were. I just thought that I generally needed to do a poo and it wasn't coming out. I actually asked for painkillers because it got really sore, and I had no idea. Like, I completely didn't even think, oh, maybe it's contractions and it's not actually me trying to do a poo. Maybe it is actually contractions. But the nurses didn't bat like an eye. Like, they gave me like some Panadol, and then after they gave me the Panadol, it would have only been like half an hour later when I went to the toilet for like the 6th or 7th time, and I went to the toilet and I didn't stop peeing, and I thought, wow, I'm not peeing. I haven't stopped peeing. I'm like, that's a bit embarrassing. And then I thought, oh, it's probably my waters. So I rang the buzzer. The nurse gave me not a tampon. She gave me a pad, and she said, if you don't fill the pad in 5 minutes, then don't ring the buzzer. But if it's soaking wet in about 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes time, then ring the buzzer and we'll put you in the birthing suite. So like 2 minutes later, it was already soaking. Called them back, and I had to water myself over. So embarrassing because I was like leaking. And yeah, so then my partner and my mum came, and I was such a sook. The whole birthing experience, I was just a massive sook. I don't take pain well, and the contractions weren't even that bad. Like, they weren't like 2 minutes apart. They were like a good like 10 minutes to like 8 minutes apart. So they weren't that bad, but I was struggling. Like, I had gas first, which made me vomit. I had morphine, which didn't work. And then I was only like 3 centimeters, and I asked for a epidural, and they were more than happy to give it to me, but Mum was like, it's a bit early though, Sophie, and I'm like, hey, but I'm struggling. So by the time I got my epidural, so my waters broke at 10 at night, and this would have been about 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. It was early. It was only like 5 in the morning or something. I don't know. So my waters didn't break at 10 o'clock. They probably broke at about midnight. So it was only like 6 in the morning. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. It's been that long. So 6 in the morning, I'm pretty sure I got gas. Morphine was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I got my epidural at about 12. After I got my epidural done, I was so tired, like I could fall asleep, and I had no idea that I was having contractions. Like the only way that I knew was that the nurses could, when the baby's heart rate would go up, would be because I was having contractions, and I was like, oh, okay, because I couldn't feel it. The doctor started to get a bit worried because by 4 in the afternoon, she wasn't budging. They were pumping drugs into me to try and get her moving, to try and get it out, but she just wasn't budging. They reckon that she was in a tight ball on the side of my stomach the whole time, like she was in no hurry to go. And I was like, by that stage, it would have been about 12 hours, and I was just like, I'm over this. I just want to get her out. So they started talking about having a C-section. And I was like, oh, well, would you be comfortable? And I said yes. I had to sign a form, and they had to send it off for approval for the head doctor there, just to say, look, the baby's not coming, the baby's not moving much. We're getting a bit worried because the heart rate was actually dropping as well. We're pumping her with all these sorts of medicine to try and get Bub moving, but it's just not working. So can we, not that she wasn't moving as in like she was still like, you know, she was obviously moving around, but she wasn't like moving down, like she wasn't like, you know, I was only like 5 centimeters dilated at 12 hours in labour, so she should have been well and truly moving along a bit further, I guess. So the head doctor said yes, if it's been 12 hours and if baby has no sign of getting out, then I would go and do a C-section. So basically, I had nail polish on my fingers. I had to get rid of all of that. All my jewelry had to go. Basically, everything had to go. Like the monitor on baby had to go. I think I was put in a new. Oh no, I wasn't put in a new outfit because I literally went through so many like nursing like dresses things. Yeah, because my waters just kept on breaking. I was in my PJs and I got changed into more PJs, and I went through those, so they just put me in one of those like nursing hospital outfit thingies, like a dress that I could wear. But I just went through all that. I was pretty much, I think I was naked by the end of it because I just got sick of changing, so I was like, I'll just leave me naked, and then they would change my sheets every now and again when they got a bit wet. But I didn't really mind. I mean, I was just like, oh well. So yeah, so I got rid of all my nail polish on my toes and on my hands, and then they put like a little thin on my head to protect my hair. And my partner went in with me, so he got changed into like a hairnet and like a nurse's kind of outfit, I guess, or a doctor's kind of outfit, or like an operation outfit, I mean. But yeah. So when I got wheeled into the operating theatre, luckily, because where I was in the hospital was separate to the rest, so there wasn't any waiting time for me to get my C-section done. It was pretty much just going and get it done, because there was no like, you know, set like the birthing part was like completely separate to the rest of it, which was nice, so that there wasn't any time for me to wait. Like they could just go in and get it done. Yeah, so there was lots of nurses and doctors. That's one thing that I didn't realise, was that there was lots of nurses and doctors. So at your side will be the anaesthetist. There'll be 2, I think. And then on the other side I had Ben, and then all the other doctors were like around me. There was midwives waiting in the corner to like take away Bub and to measure Bub when she was out. So the anaesthetist asks you quite regularly, can you feel pain? Do we need to up your epidural? If you feel anything unusual, then just tell us, and we can up the drugs, or but they did warn you that you will feel some tugging and pulling, but that's just them trying to get baby out. But I think I got a top up of epidural because I could start to feel the contractions as I was getting wheeled out. So before they got started, they touched up my epidural. So what they can do is that you're connected to like a little machine when you get your epidural done, and it connects to your back. So basically when you get it done, you've got to I leant over the bed when they put it in, and it connects to like a little drip. And so if you can feel it wearing off, then they can just top it up using the drip instead of redoing the whole thing again. So the anaesthetist kept on asking me if I can feel it. Like, they were basically telling me exactly what was happening. So they said, okay, so they put the gel on you now, and they're starting to open you up. It's not like what people say. Some people scare me with the whole C-section stuff, like they'll put your organs on like a tray. No, I think where bub is, there's no organs in the way of where baby is. So so they don't put your intestines on like a special tray. Like there's literally nothing stopping them except for like skin and all that kind of stuff. So when they were trying to get Josie out, there was lots of tugging, lots of pulling. Like, when they were tugging and pulling, I was like to the doctors, oh, is this normal? Is this normal? And they said, yes, it's fine. But if it starts to hurt, like if it really starts to like, ow, oh my God, like that's when they could top it up. And when they could see Josie, the anaesthetist told me, and then they said, oh, and it looks like they're starting to bring her up to show you. And then Josie was born. One thing that I didn't realise was that I think it's for everyone, but for some reason you shake a lot when you're having a C-section. I think it's because of all the drugs that are in you to stop you from feeling pain, and because you're getting surgery done and you're like awake. It's quite scary. So I thought it was just me, but I've heard some reaction videos where people have said that they've done this, like they've shaken and stuff. Okay, so after Josie was born and she got cleaned up, they stitched me up. The stitches that I had were dissolvable stitches, so I didn't need to get them taken out, but they put like a big bandage over the top of it. So the first day I didn't feel anything like really. I had a catheter in because I had an epidural, so literally I was numb from like my stomach down to my feet. So for the first night, they put you in recovery first. I had high blood pressure, so they were worried about that. But yeah, the first night, every hour I had to get. Was it every hour or 3 hours? I think it was every hour. Had my blood pressure checked. Then if I felt pain, then I got more drugs. Basically, I was just taking more tablets and stuff. I had to get a injection in my stomach to stop blood clots. It's not that bad. Like, after all the injections that I had when I was in labour, it was nothing that, well, not injections, but I had lots of needles, lots of blood tests. So it wasn't any, I was pretty used to getting prodded. But yeah, I think the day after Josie was born, that was the hardest, because they wanted me to get out of bed. They wanted me to have a shower. They just basically wanted me to get moving. They wanted the catheter out. So I had a shower for the first time, felt amazing. As soon as the catheter came out, I got my first period after baby was born, and it was horrible because it was like lots of blood. Nothing too scary, but I think it was like 9 months since I've had my last period, so it was a bit of a shock. The second day was hard because I could feel the pain a lot more. I was trying to move around, but I couldn't because I was in pain. But they're really good. The nurses gave me medication like every couple of minutes or every couple of hours when I asked for it. But I tried not to rely on it too much, but when it got bad, then I asked for it. Sleeping was difficult. I couldn't sleep on my side. I had to put a pillow underneath my bottom, I guess, so that I could like sleep comfortably on my side, so that my tummy was kind of resting on the pillow. I can't sleep on my back. Like I'm not a back kind of sleeper. The back gets sore if I sleep on my back. I've no idea why. The third day wasn't too bad because I was moving around more, but it's just picking up Josie was hard, and I just felt useless because I couldn't move around that much. And you know, it surprised me how often you just stomach muscles for. I think that was what I was more shocked by. Going home wasn't too bad. I stayed in bed basically for the most of it. When you get a C-section done, you can't drive for 6 weeks. You can't lift anything heavier than baby. So basically you're on people's hand, foot and knees, I guess. But to be honest, it wasn't that bad. Like, sleeping was probably the worst part because I like to sleep on my stomach, and I like to sleep on my side, and I couldn't really do that much. But I got used to it. I got used to sleeping with a pillow. I got used to, I guess, doing things differently for my comfort, I guess. And you do get lots of help. Like, the midwives come and visit you, and they do check your incision. So what they look for is every day in the hospital they would check my incision to make sure that it wasn't bruising too much, it wasn't swelling too much, and I was fine. Like, I didn't swell hardly ever. I didn't bruise that much. They were really happy. They're more worried that if blood's coming out of your incision, that's bad, obviously, but none of that really happened. After a week of being at home, they like you to go to your doctor where they'll get rid of your bandage. That wasn't fun. It's basically just like a Band-Aid. They just ripped it off. I guess it was a Band-Aid, but yeah, they just ripped it off, pretty much like a wax. They just ripped it off. Like, I was expecting. I said to my doctor, "Can you do it slowly?" And she looked at me and she was like, "Yeah, sure, I can do it slow." And then she just went, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was just like, "Oh wow, that really hurt." Okay, thank you. And it was funny because before I saw the doctor, I was walking up straighter because you just forget how much you use your stomach, and I was just walking like a hunchback because it was so sore to walk. But then the more I walked, the better I got. But then after I got my C-section, after I got my Band-Aid ripped off, I just went back to being a hunchback because I was like, wow, that really hurt. It probably would have been the fourth to fifth week when I didn't feel any pain. I was a good girl. Some people are allowed to start driving before the 6 weeks, but I didn't want to risk it. I'm a terrible driver, so I was trying to hold it off as much as I could, but I couldn't rely on mum or my partner or my dad to drive me around everywhere. So I got pretty used to it. But there is some swellings. People actually thought that I was pregnant after I got my baby, or like after I had my baby, and I was just like, no, I'm not pregnant, it's just my swelly belly. But yeah, it's honestly not that bad. Like, I would have another one for sure. I would much rather do it this way than vaginally. I have no idea why. Like, I know that, I think I was just so worried about the pain afterwards with my vaginal birth. Like, I was worried about tearing, and I was worried about going to the toilet, whether that hurt or not. I was just really worried about that. One thing that people don't tell you though, I don't know if this is just with C-sections, but because I think when you have a C-section done with the epidural, it just kind of blocks everything up inside, because the epidural numbs you from your stomach down. It was a while before I did an actual poo, so when I did actually have one, it felt like it's just what labour is like actual vaginal birth. Like, it was that bad. But I might actually, I don't want to show you too much because it's, yeah, I'll stand up. So I'll show you. Okay, so that's the start of it, and I don't really want to show you too much because it's a bit hairy down there. But I'll just give you like a little glimpse. So yeah, that's it. And one thing you will notice is that when you get your C-section done, this skin will fold over the top of that. And it, you know, for some people like me, like I've never been really that fit, so it looked a bit funny, but there was like a big like sag over my scar. Then there was like my normal like pot belly, but yeah. But some people just go back to a flat chest and the scar. You know, you can like hardly tell. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys more in detail about it. I mean, I'm one of those people that like to know things in detail. Like for example, I'm probably gonna have to get my wisdom teeth taken out soon, because I think this side's come through. My teeth have come through on this side, but the top one has, but the bottom one on this side, I think it might be a bit stuck. So it's really painful. So I need to get that sorted out. But I might do the same video like I did for this one for my wisdom teeth. But yeah, I hope this has helped. I hope this has made you less scared. It's honestly not that bad. Like, people make it out to be awful. Like, you get this horrible big scar and incision. But I mean, the first couple of days are bad, but then after that it's much better. Just as long as you've got lots of help. I think that's the main thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. I will be back next week for my 1 video a week videos, and I hope you have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification button please. It helps you out a lot. And I will leave the video somewhere here about my birthing experience. Alright guys, thank you, bye.